Imagine you run a tea stall and every customer asks, "Hey, how much money did you make from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.?" Now imagine calculating that every single time. That's exhausting, right? If you could answer every question instantly, that is what prefix sum pattern will solve. If you go through this question, this is saying that we have to calculate the sum of elements of nums between indices left and right, inclusive, where left is always less than the right. So it would take an example that would be better. So in this case, if you see, this is the given input and we have to return the respective sum range. So if you see the explanation, it is more better to understand. So if you take this example, the first one, so this is the given input. We have to find the sum range from 0 to 2. So from 0 index up to 2 index, you see minus 2 plus 3 becomes 1. So that return 1. Similarly, 2 and 5. So this is 2. You can see the example. So this is 2, this is till 5. And if you sum this, you will get minus 1. Now if you apply the brute force, start from left, loop up till index right, add every element to the sum and then return the result. This means every iteration scans the array again and again. So let's try this brute force first. Now let's see this problem. We can define this range sub array constructor to just initialize this. This is usual thing that we have to do. And our solution starts as below. So it will take big O of n complexity. So every time we have to check for range sum from this given method that we are going to create. After handling the edge case, we can define that left should always less than 0 and right should always greater than the length. It is just kind of handling an exceptional case. Then we define our sum, and from simple for loop from left to right we can calculate the sum and we can return. But for every given sum range, whenever it is asked, you have to apply this again and again. So how to optimize this? So for optimizing, we are taking a prefix integer which is private currently. We can again define a method, the constructor, to initialize this prefix, and within constructor we are just going to. So this particular for loop is the key for this problem. If you try to understand, the loop begins from the first element to the end of array. As we have already defined, the length of prefix is 1 plus the given array, because in the input itself we have given the whole array also. So ignoring the 0th element, because that would be null, as you see in the problem. So this must be null, the first one. And from first index we are going to calculate. Every time if you see, it will calculate the previous prefix that is already calculated and just add the new number. In this way, you are not calculating prefix every time. You are not calculating whole the sum every time. And now you can just create this sum range, and whatever given from left to right, you can just return the prefix subtraction, because the right plus 1 contains the sum till the current right element and left contain till the left element. And of course, if you are giving a range, then you are going to calculate, or you need to calculate only within that scope. So this subtraction will define that scope. Now let's try to run and check. So yeah, it is giving us what we are required. Now let's just put that in the given Leetcode. So if you're trying to check, this is accepting, and let's submit this. So submitting the problem, let's see. So it is beating 99% of the coders, but you get the idea. So if this explanation finally made prefix sum to click you, hit that like button. And if you are preparing for coding interview and grinding Leetcode, make sure to subscribe, because we break down problem like this every day.